Lights check. Let me turn this. Ooh. It's like sort of a red. There we go. Maybe I'll have a video on that in the future. Adjust this a little bit. All the things I do for video. Got to make sure every little detail is just right. Hi friends, I'm your friend to the end. Seems that Chucky is back in a new body, new voice, new film, but not the Chucky everyone really expected. Stay tuned for our review of Child's Play 2019. So before we get to the review, I just wanted to say I was not in the camp that, the hashtag not my Chucky. I like Chucky. Obviously, Chucky's right behind me over here. There he is. I like Chucky. I've been a Chucky fan. I'm not a diehard fan like I am, with like Scream or, Jason or Freddy or any of those other horror icons. Chucky he's on like maybe like my top 20 list of horror icons. Like he's cool. I like his movies, but I'm not the biggest diehard fan. So I went in with this movie with no really expectations, none of that grudge or hate that folks seem to be going into this movie with, shouting hashtag not my Chucky. I went in with a clear mind, and I think that made for a better experience with this movie. Child's Play, the 2019 version, tells a mother gives her 13-year-old son a toy doll for his birthday, unaware of his more sinister nature. Now, in our initial videos, our trailer reactions for this, I talked a lot about Aubrey Plaza, about how I didn't think she was going to make sort of the right choice for the mom. And she did an okay job. I'm willing to eat some crow if you put it, on a burger, some tomatoes, pepper jack cheese. Never mind. I'm willing to disregard that. She did a really solid job in her performance. Even our new kid, Andy, who's playing Andy this time, a little bit older than what he was in the original one, he did a really good job as well. And Chucky himself, whose the voice is Mark Hamill, okay job. I'm still, that's the only thing I'm kind of more used to is how the original Chucky sounded and how the original Chucky looked. We'll talk about the looks a little bit later. I did like most of the cast in this. I thought they were really well developed. They were, they had a little bit of depth to their characters. Some of the side, obviously, the kid characters, didn't hold too much weight. But Andy, his mom, their neighbor, Detective Mike Norris, him and his mom, it was kind of funny. And funny is a strange word when you use it with Chucky, because later on in the franchise of Chucky films, it became sort of more of a comedy, like a sci-fi Saturday night, 8 o'clock, jokey, like almost like the Leprechaun movies, how they became comedy more than the horror. And this one was actually really funny. I was surprised at how much comedy is in here and how much of a dark kind of comedy aspect that it goes throughout this movie. And in this version, they don't do the whole voodoo thing. I know that was a big thing when it came to the original Child's Play, because the voodoo explained so much, and it being already a serial killer already set it up that he was going to be evil and obviously killing folks. But in this version, it's more of a software malfunction, and I like the way they build upon that when the kid sort of Chucky this time around sort of takes a liking to Andy. He appreciates their friendship, and he almost obsesses over Andy, and he wants the best for Andy. And if anyone treats Andy wrong, count how many times I said Andy, he would do harm to them. And he learns these things by everyone's actions around them, sort of how when people with dealing with technology and how it learns your voice and how it learns commands that you put out and stuff. It all touts back to our reality in today's terms with technology and how we use, Alexa and Siri and cell phones and stuff. So they did a really good job of setting all that stuff up with Chucky. And I like that it sort of builds with Chucky. It's not just, he's just evil, for no reason. He's sort of evil because human nature sort of made him kind of be evil in a way. And I really like that aspect. And Chucky, let's talk about Chucky real quick. Design wise, I'm not too keen on the look of him. I got used to it pretty quickly in the movie. It didn't take me out of it. I mean, when you first see it the first few times, it's kind of just an ugly doll. And I love that, most people said, like, why would this older kid want the doll? And they addressed that in the movie. It's not really he was asking for the doll. He even states in the movie, or Andy says, like, I didn't want this, or, oh, I'm too old for this. So they even addressed that, but it is sort of the tech side of the doll which pulls Andy in to sort of use it because, being that in this new place, he's a single kid. He has no friends, so he kind of, latches on to the doll and wants that bond that most kids would have, around 13, 14 years old with friends. And the voice, Mark Hamill, it's a bit weird at times. In my opinion, it's okay, but it does sound a little off-putting to where the original Chucky, I think when they sort of use that playfulness with the voice, as opposed to this one it's a little creepy.
If they don't let us play, they all go away.
It sounds like an older guy trying to do like a kid's doll voice rather than it just sounded like a doll. And all this sounds like it's a really positive spin on this movie. Like I said, the comedy was there, which I wasn't expecting. Chucky himself was pretty cool. I dug the way it sort of built up that story, and Andy and even some of the violence they get to in this movie. It's pretty graphic. I'm just going to state that right now. It's pretty graphic. But that's all going to lead to this. So let me move that down. 2/3 of this, I would say, was really, really good. And then the third act is where I think, in my opinion, it kind of just drops the ball a little bit. It never quite reaches where I think they wanted it to go or where they are projecting with, Andy and his friends sort of taking on Chucky. And then there's this buildup of the Buddy Doll 2 getting released. And you think that's going to be even a bigger scene at this toy store that Andy's mom works at. And they're counting down, and you think it's going to be like this big build up to something just craziness. And it does get there, but not quite to what we wanted, or at least what I wanted in the end. We do see sort of Andy kind of take charge and go against Chucky, but it was just sort of over before you know it. It's like maybe like the last 15, 20 minutes, and then it's like, oh, it's over. Like, that's it. Adios. I hope you enjoyed the movie. Did I think this was the worst that we saw this year? Not by any means. It's not the worst, I think, horror movie I've seen in the past few years. It's not certainly the best. It's somewhere in the middle. I think 2/3 of it was really, really good. I dug the comedy aspect. The violence was there. New Chucky is interesting, and I don't know if I want to see a sequel to this or see where it goes from there. For the original Chucky fans, if you didn't already know, there's a TV series that's going to be coming out very, very soon. So you're going to get to see the original Chucky. Just disregard this if you really want to go with the hashtag not my Chucky. Anyone else thought Jack Black was in Jack Black Jack Black was in this? Because I swore the bigger guy that you see in the trailer, which is Trent Redenbach, I thought he was actually Jack Black in this movie. Every time I saw the trailer, I thought it was him. Even when I was watching the movie, I thought it was him. So wow, this guy's sort of a clone of him. And over on the community tab, if you didn't know, I do post on the community tab on, the YouTube main page. I'll have a link down in the description box how to get to it. I post there regularly polls and ask you guys for feedback a lot of times. I put a poll. I had 63 votes. Child's Play, what did you think? 46% said thought it was pretty good. 37% said it was okay. 6% said they didn't like it, and 11% said not my Chucky. So overall, most people thought it was pretty good and okay, and that was kind of in line with my opinion on it. I think it's a solid movie. I think if you want to wait for it to come to streaming or DVD or Netflix or wherever you watch things, Redbox, if that's still a thing, I think it's solid for that. I think I wouldn't rush out to theaters to go see this by any means, but that's my thoughts and opinions on the brand new Child's Play 2019. If you saw it, leave it down in the comment section. What did you think about it? Did you enjoy it? Did you like Mark Hamill as the new Chucky voice, or was he a little weird when he talked like this? Hey, Andy, we're friends to the end. I can't do his voice. But anyway, that is it for the video. Thank you guys. Make sure to leave a thumbs up. Make sure to comment down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll catch you guys on another video very, very soon. Peace out.